When people look at society, they often feel discouraged. They see dishonesty, manipulation, conflict, and emotional chaos, especially in relationships. And because of that, many people begin to believe that meaningful change in society is almost impossible because they assume something very simple. They assume that society will only change when most people change. But that is rarely how change actually happens. Research on human behavior suggests something interesting. When even 10% of people in a group hold a clear and consistent way of thinking, their behavior can gradually begin influencing the rest of the group. But we don't even need research to observe this. We can see it very clearly inside families. In many families, certain emotional patterns repeat themselves again and again. Anger becomes normal, blame becomes normal, criticism becomes normal. One person reacts, another reacts even more strongly, and the pattern keeps repeating. Over time, everyone begins to believe that this is simply how the family functions. But sometimes, one person in the family begins to see the pattern clearly and they decide to respond differently. Instead of reacting with anger, they respond with awareness. Instead of escalating conflict, they choose calm communication. Instead of blaming others, they take responsibility of their own reactions. At first, nothing seems to change. Others may continue behaving the same way. Some may even resist the change. But slowly, something begins to shift. Because even when one person stops feeding an unhealthy pattern, the entire emotional environment begins to change. Others start adjusting. Conversations begin to soften. Reactions become less intense. And gradually, the atmosphere of the family begins to transform. This is how change usually works in any system. It does not require everyone to change at the same time. Sometimes a small number of people behaving differently is enough to shift the direction of the whole group, which means the real question is not how do we change everyone? The real question is how many of us are willing to become part of that 10%, because meaningful change rarely begins with the majority. It begins with a small number of people who choose to live with greater awareness. And sometimes that small number is enough. These are echoes of a karma.